Hi, in this video, I will be introducing to you what is business intelligence. So this would be an introductory course. The Business Intelligence Introductory course is designed to provide an overview of business intelligence and how it can be utilized by the organization. It also emphasizes the role of technology in organization in order to harness its benefits. So let's start with the definition of the business intelligence. Business intelligence includes a wide range of applications, practices, and technologies for the extraction, transformation, integration, visualization, analysis, interpretation, and presentation of data to support improved decision making. This can also include tools and techniques to turn data into meaningful information, and it can include also the processes or product out of the business intelligence effort in general. So it might be it can also be include a process which be a method used by the organization to turn data into knowledge. So the process that you will be developing to be able to process data or to capture data from the source and process it to produce output to help decision making can be considered as part of the business intelligence effort of the organization. On the other hand, the most obvious part would be information that allows businesses to make decisions. These are output of the process which can produce a product, and this can normally be called the business intelligence output. So it can also be classified as a tool or the organization in visualization, for example. So it can be so in general, if we will capture it, it's a very generic term. Business intelligence is a generic term that pertains to a process, product, or technologies. A process, product, technologies. Process also pertains to methods that can be can that captures data and transform it into information to assist or support decision making. So basically, that's the concept of business intelligence. So the major components required for a business intelligence would have a solid data management. That's why we had a topic on how to model data in the organization, because we need to have a solid data management ideas so that we can formulate a business intelligence um, supporting data in the organization. Normally, strong data management in the organization requires a data warehouse to support the BI effort of the organization. Second is data scientists, not necessarily a scientist, but people who are involved in data capture up to the visualization and presentation of this information to decision makers. We have a separate video about BI professionals identifying specific people and their roles in the organization to be able to carry out the process of business intelligence. And lastly, strong commitment to data-driven decision making. We're always aware that not all decision makers are logical or based or a capture or base their decision on the data that they have. There are decisions that might not necessarily be anchored into data, and our focus here is in the data-driven decision making, but there are cases where intuition of a certain expert in the organization can also be considered. But for an effective business intelligence in general, these are the three major components that we need to look at into to be able to utilize or to harness the potential of business intelligence. Okay, so these are examples of business intelligence and analytics in general. These are some examples where business intelligence can be used. Example, detect fraud. In general, machine learning and other also related applications can be used. But our perspective here is on business, so it can be used to detect fraud through data collection and identifying patterns, optimize operations because we can now look at specific areas of the operation of the organization from the, as I've said a while in the previous video on the type of information systems, there are information systems that support regular operations of the organization, and through business intelligence, you can already analyze which operations might cause delay and which certain process can identify which process might be problematic on the perspective of data. So when you have logs or you have stored data on the processes of the organization, you can now identify areas of problems or challenges that needs to be optimized. So that's optimized operation. Increase sales in general because there might be a very good classic example is to pair with in a gross arrangement in a grocery. You can always pair some items which might be related because you might discovered in your data that um, customers normally want to buy, example, coffee and sugar, so you can rearrange your cost your setup in the grocery to pair with coffee and sugar. But there might be other related items that normally bought by your customer, so that you can also place near to those items. You might have a separate arrangement near to those items, so that there is a tendency that it can invite other users, other buyers to buy also the particular product. And in the end, you can also reduce cost if you can optimize your operation. You might always have a end on reduced cost. And you can read the specific examples provided by this slide. Next is BI tools. Our simple business intelligence, the most simple business intelligence tools is a spreadsheet. In fact, our examples on the use of tools would be we will start with spreadsheet. Basically, the basic is spreadsheet because it's always accessible to many of the decision makers. But we can also have reporting and query tools, present data in an easy to understand fashion via formatted data graphs and charts. We can derive also this one on spreadsheet, and many of the data that can be captured by databases might be transferred to spreadsheet for further analysis or for easier analysis, because many of the BI professionals will be familiar with spreadsheets. Although there are software that expected to support business intelligence effort of the organization, but it would entail also cost. That's why many of the analysis taken by organization will make use of spreadsheets. So it's a very good tool as an initial effort to take business intelligence seriously in the organization. So we have some BI tools, data visualization tools, is the presentation of data in a pictorial or graphical format. This is also easier to understand if you look at the various perspective based on the graph or another presentation. So I provide example here which is not very common but can be used, can be helpful. Number one is a word cloud, a visual depiction of a set of words that have been grouped together because of the frequency of their occurrences. And this, I know you are very familiar with word cloud, and there are even small applications that can use to illustrate word cloud based on comments of the people collected in a certain gathering. So second is conversion funnel, a graphical representation that summarizes the steps a consumer takes in making the decision to buy your product and become a customer. So, it illustrates also from a large audience of visit up to the how many percent actually purchases the product. In our class, in our one of our research, we also use the conversion panel to identify at which particular level someone um, is at risk in a cybercrime, in a cybersecurity risk. For example, in a phishing simulation, in our example, we use this funnel to illustrate the phishing simulation, meaning if as a starting point, it can be captured by the software from opening an email up to submitting data. So there are levels illustrating in a funnel from step one to a closer step. So for example, in our case, I think the first step in a funnel mainly would be opening the email. And the second level would be if you will click a certain link in the email, and the third one would be to input the data maybe. I can't exactly remember, but meaning it can be illustrated in a funnel from a large group of audience into a smaller group of audience to illustrate how it's just like a funnel. That's a good visualization. We have also a concept on online analytical processing, wherein we call this a method to analyze multidimensional data from many different perspectives, enabling users to identify issues and opportunities as well as perform trend analysis. So we normally call this OLAP. No, online analytical processing. When you have a data already, you can perform different dimensions of data to look at various perspective and maybe can get input or get an insights from that online analytical processing. On the other hand, online analytical processing normally is paired with data cube, a collection of data that contains numerical facts called measures, which are characterized by dimensions such as time and geography. So in this case, for example, if you want to pair, normally data cube is three factors. We want to collect data and select at least three factors and determine the correlation of those three variables. That's our data cube, and it might help decision making. And the online analytical processing will enable this processing, producing a data cube, so that if you want to shift, for example, you have student course they have taken and whether they graduated or not. No? So you can view from the graduate perspective, you can view it in the different courses, but the point is easy for you to shift between different concept or to pull and put other new concepts into the data cube for you to compare and determine the relations of those variables. We also have a concept on drill down analysis. So drill down analysis includes interactive examination of high-level summary data in increasingly detail to gain insight into certain element, sort of like slowly peeling off the layer of an onion. So if you can imagine the drill down analysis, one example would be in IIT. In IIT, for instance, if you are a faculty member, you have a view on the average grade of your student. No? So that's the first step. If you double click the average grade, you can now determine it can be displayed na it is classified into group like 1, 1, 1, 2, 5, 1, 5. So this is another level of drill down. And if you look at, for example, the 1.5 grade, you double click the 1.5 grade or any other method for you to check who are the students with grade 1.5. You will click the 1.5 and it will display the students. That's an example of drill down analysis from a higher level perspective to a specific one. Next is the linear regression, a mathematical procedure to predict the value of a dependent variable based on a single independent variable and the linear relationship between the two. So the example, the graph illustrated below this slide is actually a sample of a linear regression. And I'm sure you are very familiar with this as a business student. We can always linearly determine a regression between two variables in our research. Even during your college life, you might have a linear regression if you have an activity related to, of course, linear regression or correlation. Another term is key performance indicator, a metric that tracks progress in executing chosen strategies to attain organizational objective and goals and consists of a direction, measure, target, and time frame. Normally, a key performance indicator is used to assist decision making in developing their dashboard. A dashboard is an example also of a business intelligence tool, which is here a presentation of a set of KPIs about the state of a process at a specific point in time. So example, in IIT, we have KPIs which we keep on updating, and we need to determine or to illustrate sometimes through a dashboard which KPI has been achieved and which KPI has we have a problem or concern into. No? So normally, from the business intelligence perspective, the tool is a dashboard, and a dashboard is derived from a KPI of the organization. Okay, then we have a concept of self-service analytics. This is training, techniques, and processes that empower end user to work independently to access data from approved sources to perform their own analysis using an endorsed set of tools. Because the self-service analytics came from recognizing the knowledge of the end user or the user of the system, meaning many of the end user were actually capable of analyzing their data, and they tend to understand their data because that's their everyday work, compared to a BI professional who don't have a background of or lacking background on that particular process. Those BI expert needs to coordinate with the end users or the one who is actually doing the job to be able to perform proper analysis from the perspective of the end user. But here the concept is now there are analysis that might be done by the end user through simple tools. This is the self-service analytics. And sometimes BI professionals also will develop self-service analytics to enable end user to analyze their own data based on experience of interaction also with the end users. So this is a pros and cons associated with self-service BI and analytics. Pros is gets valuable data into the hands of the people who need it the most, or the end user as we call it. It encourages non-technical end users to make decisions based on facts and analysis rather than intuition, accelerates and improves decision making, and business people can access and use the data they need for decision making without having to go to technology expert each time they have a new question, thus filling the gap caused by a shortage of trained data scientists. As we know, we need to empower the users so that they can also analyze their own data. Maybe the work now of the business and BI professionals would be to establish those data sources for the end users to be accessible whenever they need them. For cons, paired with also, if you have valuable data in hands of the end user, if not well managed, it can create the risk of erroneous analysis and reporting, leading to potentially damaging decisions within our organization. No? And second, because the end users might not be trained similar with BI professionals, so they might misuse some of the data unintentionally, and it might produce an erroneous model, for example, that will lead to a bad decision for management. Uh, Next is different analysis can yield inconsistent conclusion, resulting in wasted time trying to explain the differences. Self-service analytics can also result in proliferating data islands with duplications of time and money spent on analysis. Yeah, correct, because different end users have different concerns. They might be working on the same problem, but they might have a different perspective on analyzing it. So there is now a silos of or data islands of the analysis, and can lead to overspending on unapproved data sources and business analytics tools, and lastly can exacerbate problems by removing the checks and balance on data preparation and use, which is normally the expertise of the business intelligence professional. Without strong data governance, organization can end up with lots of silos of information, bad analysis, and extra cost. Okay, So I have here the collection of the business intelligence tools common to the market a few years ago. For example, you have Autonomy Idle by HP, Cognos Business Intelligence by IBM, Web Focus by Information Builders, Power BI by Microsoft, Business Intelligence by Oracle or Hyperion by Oracle, Enterprise BI Server by SAS, and Business Objects by SAP. These are examples of business intelligence software used by large organizations, but these are also expensive ones. And so we also have types of information. Let me clear this one. Types of information processing. So we have earlier we have a transaction processing, which is related to transaction processing system, and we have analytical processing. Although we are aware that business intelligence focuses on analytical processing part, we don't forget that the analytical processing is coming actually from the transactional processing. But to differentiate the two, transactional processing focuses on data items processing, insertion, modification, deletion, transmission, and even some non-analytical queries, while the other analytical processing focuses on queries, calculation, reporting, analysis, and decision making. So there are two processes managed in information system perspective. The example, our everyday operations can be part of a transactional processing. These are the sources of data that later will be consolidated to produce an analytical processing. So I hope that it's clear for us which part is a transaction and which part is analytical. And a BI will focus on analytical, but as I've said, the data used by analytical processing is dependent on the regular transactions of the organization. So it's also critical because part of the transaction will be the cleaning. We need to clean the data before it can be processed so that it will produce a good output. For example, if one of your customer will not input age, that would make a difference when you average later the age. So might be considered, you might some manipulation in your data that will not allow blank items such as age if you analyze in that part of row or column where age is blank. So it can really affect the result. Let's move on to that. So in summary, the principle is that the goal of business intelligence and analytics is to support improved decision making. That's why our next video or one of our video later will take up also decision making. And there are many BI and analytics techniques and tools that can be used in a wide range of problem solving situation. Okay, so that's it for this video. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you get something out of this lesson.